Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. V. Jodhimani, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, Almegu Palani Andhra Arts College for Women, Chinnakalaimuthu, Palani. Today, we will discuss on Ezekiel poem, The Professor. The Nissim Ezekiel was born on 1924 and died 2004. He is an Indian Jewish poet, playwright, editor, and art critic. His specialty lies not only in writing about Indian tradition and base of life, but also in effectively reflect Indianness in his style of using English. A Time to Change, The Unpunished Man, Hymns in Darkness, and collected poems are some of his popular poetic collections. The Professor is about a conversation between two people, a retired professor and one of his former students. They happen to meet after long gap of time. The professor only speaks throughout the poem and the student is mere passive listener. The opening line, "Remember me," suggests that the students could not recognize his professor, and so he voluntarily speaks to the student. Then he introduced himself as the professor said, who had once was taught geography to the students. Further says that he is retired and his health is good. The professor talks about his family, but instead of happy thinking, a stereotype thinking, his views are confined to his family, children, and their material achievements in life. He talks about his three sons. One is sales manager, the other one is bank manager. Third son is spoiled twin. He is not settled in life, so he is considered black sheep in his family. Then he talks about his two daughters, Serla Tarla, who had happily married. He also boasts that he has 11 grandchildren. The professor asks the question to the students, how many issues you have? 3. By issues, he means the children. Then he approves it as good. He further says that these are the days of family planning. He talks about the changing of time, the importance of change. Then he talks about the change in their lives, old values being replaced by new values. The professor says that he hardly goes out because of his old age. He says that his health is okay, but visual aches and pains. No diabetes, no blood pressure, no heart attack. He says proudly that he is still healthy because of good habits that he had cultivated since his youth. This part of the poem proves that the professor, incorrigible, egocentric, obsessed with his phone matters. Then he asks about health of the student. How is your health keeping? Nicely, I am happy for that. The outward appearance of the students described by the professor. Earlier, their students was very thin like a stick. Now, he has become a man of weight and consequence. The professor invites him to his house. With this, the poem ends. A satire, the way of criticizing a person, an idea, or event. In the poem, the professor, an object of satire, a reticent of the poem. Through the character of the poem, Professor Ezekiel, a satire, a educated and urban middle class The poet uses a colloquial style and it provides an opportunity for him to satirize Indians who use English language with a lot of mistakes. But still, they would speak in English rather than in their own mother tongue. Hyperbole means exaggerating something. Ezekiel has shown that Indian has a habit of exaggerating that, the emphasizing the use of hyperbolic, the quiet and ballad in the professor's speech. The examples are our progress is progressing, everything is happening with the leaps and bounds, you are so thin like stick. The professor is a caricature because of his the erroneous dialogue. Though the speaker utilized a number of figures of speech, language is ineffectual, ungrammatical, and idiomatic. Though it is a quite lengthy conversation between the senior academician and his former student, it does not even urge on academic to his. The professor, as the professor himself, neither proved to skim academically or nor a morally supportive one. The poem springs of the thoughts, views, and the feelings of the retired professor who speaks about the sons and daughters, his health, the changing times, time changing values, written in a colloquial Indian English.